Otaji! Another beautiful day in paradise. I'm out for my afternoon walk and I am underneath the lighthouse, the Farol de Baja lighthouse. And I'm going to walk around it. People are gathering here. They gather every afternoon. It's about 4:30, 4:40 in the afternoon. They gather every afternoon around this time for the famous sunset here. The vast majority of Brazilian beaches face east, of course, because Brazil faces the South Atlantic Ocean and the sun sets to the west. So in Brazil, the sun generally sets behind you. But this is one of the very few, or maybe the only place in Brazil, because of the position of the peninsula where the city of Salvador sits on, the tip of peninsula and how it's positioned. Here, the sun sets in front of you. And so it's famous here for people to gather. And when the sun sets, at the moment that it sets, everybody bursts into applause. And it's very festive every afternoon at this time. Of course, there's always street sellers selling their wares. I generally come out here every day, almost every day, because this lighthouse is just a few blocks from my apartment. I feel very privileged and lucky to live where I do, in the city of Salvador. And so at sunset, the sun is behind a cloud right now. Everybody will burst into applause up and down this beach. And the sun is setting over the Bay of All Saints, Bahia de Todos os Santos. And that's Itaparica Island there on the other side. And these people in front of me are looking at me because I'm speaking English. And I'm talking to myself into a camera. Oi. Sou turista. Ciao. Those guys are looking at me with curiosity, and I just smiled at them, put my thumb up, and said, "I'm a tourist," even though I'm not. I live here. I'm a resident, but just easy to say, "Hey, I'm a tourist." I said it to them in Portuguese, and then they laughed. And then, "Oh, okay, we get it." He said, "I was hearing these strange sounds." I said, "I'm speaking English and I'm a tourist." Anyway, oh, look at all these ribbons. Now, this is a tradition, a characteristic of the city of Salvador. They're called fitas. Fitas de Bonfim. Bonfim is a church here, and the tradition is to take these fitas, these little things that you tie around your wrist, but people also tie them to fences, to the front of churches. The tradition is to make a wish, tie the fita with 3 knots, and then supposedly when it falls off your wrist or whatever you tied it to, your wish comes true. And so this particular spot is covered with a lot of fitas. Another nice tradition. I mean, you know, sometimes you can't help but get them tied to your wrist, but I never keep them on until they fall off because I don't like things around my wrist. They kind of irritate me, and within a day or two I end up taking them off myself. So we've just made the circle around the lighthouse, and we're coming back out the other side now. Let's see where we'll go now. Oh, I found out what they're setting up the stage for, by the way, in front of the lighthouse. It's not going to be for a nice music festival, no, which is what often they set up these stages for, but rather a Jesus Saves revival. So I can assure you I won't be attending that. Jesus does not save me. My walk today, I ran into my friend Oremi, which we originally met on Facebook, but the first time I met him here was in Salvador, and now he's a flight attendant, and he's bought this beautiful apartment, and he's totally renovated it, and I'm gobsmacked. It is so this is the kitchen area. Look at this great view. He's in the best neighborhood in the city. He's got a tree growing right in the middle of his kitchen. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. It really reminds me of something out of a stylized African village. Oh my God, I'm so impressed. Why didn't I do something like this?
Not too late. Not too late.
Yeah. Thank you, Remy. Oh wow, that was really nice running into Remy. And he showed me his beautiful apartment that he bought, that he completely renovated. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's got a lot of African elements in it. And I wish I had done that years ago. Oh well. I had different kinds of adventures. No regrets. It's past sunset now. And the beach and the last vestiges of the sun are all gorgeous as usual, and I'm going to walk home now. Remy is also an American, and he fell in love with Salvador, obviously because they bought a home here, and he's a permanent resident like I am, and it's really nice to connect with somebody who understands and loves and appreciates Salvador so much. Remy is a flight attendant, so he gets to fly down here for work. Lucky him. He's got the idyllic life, the ideal life. I'm back home now. You know, seeing Remy and his gorgeous apartment that he bought and renovated triggered not feelings of regret. I don't dwell on regrets, but if I could do it all over again, go back in time, perhaps it would have been a smarter idea rather than spending every single cent of my money to have bought a home base. Preferably right here in Salvador. It's not that I never bought anything here. I did buy a very small little working class house. It was 2 bedrooms. When I bought it, I thought it was cute. I think I paid about a grand total of $8,000 for it. But the problem was that I bought it in the small city of San Antonio de Jesus, about 3.5 hours from Salvador. It wasn't the right place. I didn't last in San Antonio. I ended up giving the house to my brother-in-law, which he still has today. He rents it out. And I feel okay about that. It'll eventually wind up in the hands of one of his children. So in a sense, it stays within the family. But and I also many years ago bought a small piece of land in a beach town north of here called Arembepe. I'm sure that piece of land, I think it also cost about $8,000. I am quite sure that piece of land now is worth quite a bit more than what I bought it for, because Arembepe has exploded in popularity. That little piece of land got stolen out from under me. Long story, I won't bore you with it, but so my little house and my little piece of property are no longer mine. But as I said, I'm not one to dwell on regrets. But maybe it would have been nice to have a home base, an apartment like my friend Remy has now. Even though he travels a lot, he's not here all the time, but he always has that place to come back to. And that would be nice. But live and learn. I've never been a long-term planner. I think that has something to do with the way I was raised. My childhood, adolescence was very episodic. We were always moving from home to home, state to state, a new stepfather every few years. So long-term planning just isn't part of my makeup. But I make up for it in other ways. Lots of adventures. So I'm going to sign off now. I wish you all a great week. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us today. Beijos. Ciao.